Hello students, welcome to my channel LP Tech. Today we are going to start with the 7th lesson of the History Standard 8 entitled as Non-Cooperation Movement. So just stay tuned, stay together and stay tuned. In the Indian national movement, the period from 1920 to 1947 is known as Gandhian era. So this is the Gandhian era 1920 to 1947. And in this chapter, we are again going to learn about the role of Gandhiji in South Africa, Gandhiji's arrival in India, philosophy of Satyagraha, Champaran Satyagraha, Kheda Satyagraha, worker movement at Ahmedabad, Satyagraha against Rowlatt Act, and Jallianwala Bagh massacre, as well as the Khilafat movement in this video only. So just stay tuned and stay together. After the death of Lokmanya Tilak in 1920, the reins of the national movement went into the hands of Mahatma Gandhi. So, after the death of Lokmanya Tilak, this leadership of the movement was taken in the hands of Mahatma Gandhiji. He gave a new direction to the freedom movement with the principles of truth, non-violence and satyagraha. Truth, non-violence and satyagraha. So, these were the principles of Mahatma Gandhi. Due to the influential leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, the national movement became more comprehensive. This led to the beginning of new era in the freedom movement of India. Role of Gandhiji in South Africa. Mahatma Gandhiji went to South Africa for some legal work in 1893. So he went to the practicing of the legal practice in South Africa for the advocate purposes. South Africa was a colony of British at that time. So many Indians had settled there for business, trade and such other work. The Indians in South Africa were treated as criminals and humiliated at all the times. In 1906, the government declared that it was compulsory for the blacks to carry an identity card and their freedom was restricted as well. So they had to carry the identity card as they are the black person. So this was one type of humiliation to them. So Gandhiji followed the path of Satyagraha against the injustice and gained justice for the people. So with the help of Gandhiji and his principle of Satyagraha, he won this battle and gained the justice for the people. Gandhiji arrives in India. On 9th January 1915, Gandhiji returned to India from South Africa. As suggested by Gopal Krishna Gokhale, he made a tour of the entire nation. That is, after returning to India, as his disciple, as his guru, as his teacher and his guide, Gopal Krishna Gokhale suggested him to make a tour of India. So he just made it. And he became sad looking at the misery and poverty of the people. He took up the vow of service to nation. He stayed at Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad. So he stayed at the Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad. Philosophy of Satyagraha. Gandhiji brought in a novel technique of Satyagraha in the popular movement. Satyagraha means insistence of truth. The main objective of Satyagraha is through patience and Satyagraha, an unjust person is made aware of truth and justice and also bring transformation in his views. So that means by keeping a patience and insistence for Satyagraha, if we keep it and follow it, the unjust person also bring the transformation in his views. That means the opposite person may change his views about that particular person if he witness the truth and non-violence of the person before him. A person following Satyagraha should never use violence and untruth means was the technique, that was the teaching of Gandhiji. That person must follow the non-violence and the truth. Later, not only in India but in many parts of the world, people adopted the path of Satyagraha to fight against injustice. So many people in the world and the leaders of the world this follow the way of satyagraha to fight against the injustice. Gandhiji's path of satyagraha made an impact on Martin Luther King, who was struggling for the rights of the blacks in America. So this is the person. This is the image of Martin Luther King. Even the Nelson Mandela from South Africa also had the impact of satyagraha, which he implemented to fight against the injustice of the people of his country. Next point, Champaran Satyagraha. The satyagraha happened at the place Champaran. It is in Bihar. In Bihar, the farmers of Champaran region were forced to cultivate indigo. Indigo is one type of cash crops. The cultivators suffered economically since they received fixed amount from the planters. So Gandhiji went to Champaran in 1917. He organized the farmers in Champaran and launched the agitation by following the way of Satyagraha. So under his leadership, he organized all the farmers and made them to fight against them through the Satyagraha. Gandhiji's first war of independence in India became successful and the farmers were given justice. So this is known as the first war of independence in India of Gandhiji's, and it became successful. Next point, Kheda Satyagraha. Due to constant famines in Kheda district, Gujarat, the crop had failed. Still, land tax was forcibly collected by the government. That was the strategy of the British government. Even though there was a famine, there was a heavy rainfall, they did not care. They just wanted the tax to be collected, and the same happened here. So Gandhiji suggested that the farmer should refuse to pay the tax. The farmers began the movement for scrapping of tax at Kheda in 1918. So Gandhiji accepted the leadership of this movement, and within a short period of time, the government suspended the tax. That means here Gandhiji won through the medium of Satyagraha. Next point, workers' movement at Ahmedabad. During the First World War, there was great inflation. So mill workers demanded for a rise in salary. It was the result of the First World War. Everything became so much expensive, so it was really impossible to sustain in a given amount. So they just wanted hike in salary. But the mill owners rejected this demand, and as per Gandhi's advice, the workers went on hunger strike. So finally, the mill owners had to back off, and the salary of workers was increased. And here they won through the medium of Satyagraha. Satyagraha against Rowlatt Act. In the First World War, the Indians had helped the British. Indians felt that after the World War is over, there will be a system of governance for taking decisions for well-being of the Indians. So Indians felt that after First World War, we will be able to form our own government, and it will be easy to work for the betterment of India if we help the Britishers. So therefore they helped the Britishers. But there was a growing unrest among the Indians regarding the increasing prices, taxes, which were imposing on the Indians by the Britishers. To suppress this discontent, that is dissatisfaction, and to suggest measures about it, there was a committee appointed under Sir Sidney Rowlatt. So this is the image of Sir Sidney Rowlatt. Under him, the committee is appointed, and the committee is given the name of him, that is Rowlatt Committee. To suppress this discontent and to suggest measures, that about a committee was appointed under Sir Sidney Rowlatt. According to recommendation of this committee, a new law was passed. Now what was that new law? And the new law was, Britishers can arrest any of the Indians, without the warrant, without the consent. So there was that law was passed without considering the opposition of Indian members in the Central Legislative Assembly on 17 March 1919. This law came to be known as the Rowlatt Act. So this act gave the right to the government to arrest anybody without any warrant or imprison without any trial. Any person can be imprisoned without any trial and can be arrested without any reason. Appeal was prohibited against the punishment given through this act. The Indians called this act as Black Act. So Rowlatt Act, also known as the Black Act. And the tide of anger arose all over India against this act. Gandhiji launched Satyagraha against it on 6th April 1990. He appealed to the Indians to follow Hartal, that is strike, all over India against the act, and Indians responded to this appeal on a large scale. So Gandhiji made an appeal to the people to fight against it and made a strike against this act all over India. Next point, the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. The movement that aroused against the Rowlatt Act took over a fierce form in the province of Punjab. So, the people were unhappy against the Rowlatt Act and they were just protesting and showing their demonstration against the government, and this was more fierce in Punjab. Amritsar became the main center of this movement. The government had started the spate of suppression. Britishers started to suppress it by hook and crook. Gandhiji was prohibited from entering the province of Punjab. So Gandhiji was not allowed to enter in Punjab. General Dyer issued orders of ban on public meetings in Amritsar. So this is the pic of General Dyer. So he gave an order of ban on public meetings in Amritsar. Even he arrested the important leaders like Dr. Satpal and Dr. Kichelu. They were arrested for their involvement in Amritsar Hartal case. As a protest against this, on 13 April 1990, on Baisakhi Day, the people of Amritsar assembled at the place named Jallianwala Bagh. So this General Dyer arrived with the armed force, and the place was enclosed from all sides and had only one small gate. When there was a public meetings was going on at Jallianwala Bagh, the place, so here this person came with the armed forces, and all the places of all the exits were banned and it is closed. So General Dyer positioned his army and closed down the only gate. There was only one gate to move from there, and without giving any prior notification to the disarmed innocent people, he ordered his soldiers to fire, and there was a continuous fire. 1660 rounds had been fired. Army continued firing until the ammunition was over. In this massacre, about 400 people, including men and women, were killed. Many people were wounded. After firing, curfew was announced, and hence immediate treatment to the injured could not be made available. So that means he gave very brutal order to his soldiers to kill the people, and even he settled the curfew as soon as the firing is over, and as a result the many injured people could not get the treatment as well. So the Punjab military law was enforced and many were sent to jail by the government. So General Michael Jung O'Dyer, the governor of Punjab, was responsible for this massacre. All over India there was a protest against this act. As a protest against this massacre, the Rabindranath Tagore gave away the title of Sir bestowed on him. So Rabindranath Tagore was a famous Indian poet, and in a protest against the Jallianwala Bagh, he returned the title of Sir, which was given to him by the Britishers. So he returned to them then it again. Later, Indians demanded for enquiry of this massacre. Hence, the British government appointed the Hunter Commission. So the Hunter Commission was appointed to enquire the matter of Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Keep in mind. Khilafat movement. The Muslims all over the world regarded the ruler of Turkey as their religious leader. That means all over Muslims of the world, they were worshipping the leader from Turkey, that is Turkestan, as their religious leader. During the First World War, Turkey fought against the British. To get the support of Indian Muslims in the war, the British had assured that after the end of war, Khalifa's empire will not be harmed. So Britishers promised the Indian Muslims that after the end of World War, the Khalifa's empire will not be harmed, will not be touched, or will not be made any other impact on it. But after the end of First World War, England did not stick to its assurance. They did not follow it. British did not follow. So a tide of great discontent arose among the Muslims. So many Muslims were dissatisfied with this fact. The movement started by Indian Muslims to support the Khalifa was called Khilafat movement. Gandhiji thought that on this problem, if the Hindu and Muslims come together and start a national movement, then the government can surely be brought to its senses. Therefore, Gandhiji supported the Khilafat movement. The Khilafat committee accepted Gandhiji's proposal of following non-cooperation to the government. So, what Gandhiji suggested here to this Khilafat movement followers that they should accept the philosophy of non-cooperation with the Britishers. Don't cooperate the Britishers, that is the non-cooperation movement. A Hindu-Muslim unity was seen especially during this period. So the major achievement of this Khilafat movement, that is the non-cooperation movement, started against the Britishers, and the Hindu-Muslim unity was seen in a better way. So students, that's it for this video. The remaining information will be seen in the next video. So keep watching. If you really like, please share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.